may or may not know, there are 8 punches in Wing Chun. All right, I'm going to do a video in the future about those 8 punches, but today I want to talk about the feel of the punch. And as you all probably know by now, you want the feeling of the punch, just like any other motion you do, should be relaxed and a freeing feeling. Meaning I shouldn't be tight when I do that motion, all right? I don't want to feel like I'm tensing up any muscles as I'm doing that motion, okay? If you're doing that, that should be a sign to you at this point that you're doing something wrong, because the ultimate transfer of power from you into the target will not happen as greatly if you are tight in your motion and ultimately tight with your body just to support that motion. All right, so one of the great things that the dummy is trying to teach you is how to be relaxed while you're actually in contact with something. Now, as I've said before, in Wing Chun, you've got live energy dealing with the person, and you have dead energy dealing with an inanimate object like the dummy. So in the dummy form though, in session 7 is when we do the low punch, okay? And I remember teaching this to a student one time, and he was able to do the low punch very relaxed. So I'm here, I do the low punch, my shoulder should be down, naturally sunk, and my arm going downward is able to move freely, all right? But when he was trying to do the saddleline punch, he was a little tight in his motion. And so I said to him, are you able to understand what you're doing with the low punch here that's allowing his motion to be free and relaxed, but he's not doing here, okay? And part of the problem is that he wasn't able to understand at the time, but when you're doing this low punch motion on either side, is that as I'm angling down, it naturally allows for my muscles to be more relaxed, because now I'm going at a downward angle, 45 degrees about. And I have to take that feeling of this relaxation here and be able to apply that when I do the centerline punch. All right, I don't want to stop short. If you stop short when you're doing a centerline punch, it'd be like throwing the ball and stopping short this way. Yeah, ultimately there is some power that's transferred if I stop short here. But if I want to throw the ball with as much accuracy and power as I can apply, I need to be able to follow through that motion. All right. Anybody that does any type of athletic endeavor will probably tell you something very similar to the same. You'd never like take your bat swing and like stop short here. All right, you always follow through unless you were specifically trying to stop short, for baseball. But anytime you want to release power, I need to be able to follow through that motion. So when I'm going at a downward angle here, it's easier to understand how to release that power. Part of the idea of being able to release power is to learn to understand how to relax the musculature around the skeletal system. And it's easier to do here versus doing here, and ultimately at other types of punches as well. So that's why the low punch here can actually help you understand how to relax that muscle, because when I'm pushing down this way, it's easier than to push forward here, because ultimately I'm using a slightly more muscle tension to hold my arm out in centerline punch versus going down at a 45-degree angle. All right, so play with that. And if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. Good luck.